If you see a terrible movie right in front of you, would you just walk away? It's Harmless Phosphorescence! Hello, everybody! This is Thoreau Smiley, and all my life, as you know, I've been a loser. Who's joining me this week?
Hey, I'm Josh Cece. You're gonna be okay. I'm just gonna walk over here for a minute.
I just woke up and all my powers are gone. How am I gonna make it through the podcast? I'm Brian Lesh.
I am champion trampoline cage fighter, Alaric Weber.
And this is Harmless Phosphorescence. It's the podcast where we watch every theatrically released full-length live-action superhero movie ever made. We gather some research into the production and the source material, then we tell you all about it. This show is brought to you by our patrons. Patrons like executive producers Michael Beckwith and Atticus Burkett. You can be a patron too. Just head to patreon.com/harmlessentertainment. We got lots of bonus content there. We got monthly movies. We just posted Every Which Way But Loose. And we've got our August one. We are putting up the poll for that. So you can vote for our August movie. The year is 1989. The 4 movies that you can vote for are Ghostbusters 2, Roadhouse, Little Monsters, and Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure. So head on over to patreon.com/harmlessentertainment and you can hear all of our monthly movies. And guys, this is our 100th episode, our 100th movie of Harmless Phosphorescence. The 100th movie. Yes. We've done this is the 100th superhero movie released into theaters, minus the few that we missed, which we're not going to talk about. But
there weren't many.
There's 2 that I can say we legitimately missed, and then a couple others that maybe could have been on the list. But
there was a Power Rangers movie.
We missed a Power Rangers movie. We missed some indie movie that was written by James Gunn. But those are the only 2 we legitimately missed. But that means that next week, guys, we are going to have a look back, a retrospective, if you will, a special 100 movie extravaganza. There will be awards, there will be countdowns, and a who's who, a veritable who's who of Harmless Phosphorescence will be on that podcast.
Who's who of what?
Yes.
Yeah. Yes.
So,
special guest, Alaric Weber, Brian Lesh.
Hosted by Billy Crystal.
And the Solid Gold Dancer.
So check that out. That's next week on this very feed in which you are listening to this podcast. 100 episodes. But this week, we are talking about our 100th movie. It is All Superheroes Must Die.
Something's wrong. The powers are gone.
Good evening, everyone.
I made a game. I'm calling it role reversal, where you get to lose, and I get to win.
You don't play, and the entire town is rigged to blow.
Without us, who knows what Rickshaw will do. This isn't just about you and me anymore. This is about everything and everyone we've ever cared about.
I can't wait to introduce you to some of my other friends that you haven't met yet.
If we don't do this together, we don't have a shot at beating this game. No! He's watching us.
Is this it? Is this your plan? I mean, what's your backup plan?
Backup plans are for people who expect to fail.
All Superheroes Must Die, released technically into theaters January 4th, 2013. Has a running time of 78 minutes, thank God. A budget of $20,000.
It came out in a film festival in 2011, I believe.
TIFF, I believe, Toronto International Film Festival in 2011.
In 2011, took 2 years to get to a limited release in the United States.
It did make a limited release, thus qualifying it for this podcast.
I mean, and we said it feels like it's a demo reel. It feels like a movie you would make to show studios that you can make a movie.
Absolutely.
But I will say, to be fair, they did a lot with 20 grand. I mean, a lot.
The production, I don't really have an issue with, the production values because they did pretty good for 20 grand. Like, I'll give them that.
I mean, they didn't build that junkyard, for example. Yeah.
Well,
and the costumes were
they're fine. Yeah.
If they made sense.
How much of that 20 grand actually went to the movie?
I want
and not to
and pizza.
Remar.
Yeah. Well, because there's one legitimate kind of well-known actor in this movie, and that's it.
And then the kid who played Havoc, who I'm sure was friends with this guy.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. He was a producer also.
Yeah. He from what I understand, we'll get into that in the production, but definitely. It felt like a student film. It probably was. They were probably in college. They all look like they're in their early 20s.
I can't remember the name, but I'm sure we all saw that really well done Batman fan film.
Oh,
that was done a few years ago.
Was that? Wait. Are you talking about the Alien one or the Predator one or the
Predator one is the one that I was thinking of.
There was one where he fought Predator,
straightforward.
Or was it one where he fought Joker?
Yeah. There was a character playing Joker.
I saw that one. That was pretty good. Good. And
it felt like it had the same production value.
Yeah. The Predator one felt like a real
that was crazy.
Yeah, that was ridiculous. All right. All Superheroes Must Die, released January 4th, 2013. There is no box office mojo information on this. It did not make enough money to track. I have a feeling it showed in one or two theaters for a week or two. If I had to guess.
Do we think it made its $20,000 back?
Based, I mean, maybe. I'd imagine so at this point. 8 years on.
How much did movie tickets cost back in 2013? $7-9?
Somewhere like that.
Around that.
Imagine paying $7 to $9 and walking into this.
Oh God.
Oh yeah, you're paying $7 to $9 to walk out of it early.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, I'm sure it was released. I'm sure just solely to be able to qualify for certain things. I imagine, be it film festivals or
our podcast.
Yeah,
writers and actors guild thing.
Podcast
they
money.
saw it coming. They knew.
Well, they saw some other things coming, which is odd. But
I mean, dude's making money off Tubi. I mean, not much, but for every stream, I imagine he at least gets a few cents.
Well, there's two other movies in this series,
released straight to YouTube. Both of them released straight to YouTube. I haven't looked at their views, but with advertising, those might be making a decent amount of money. You can make people get rich off YouTube.
So yes, they do.
11-years. Yes.
My friend has made thousands of dollars off of a single cat video. So yes.
Wow. Reaction videos. Jude's obsessed with the monetization of reaction videos. He was like, look, this guy sits here, watches this blankly, and then says 4 sentences about it. He has 3 million subscribers. This video has 700,000 views. I did the math.
Lord.
Sitting and watching a trailer and then saying 3 sentences about it earned this guy something like $12,000.
That's
efficient.
All Superheroes Must Die 2, The Last Superhero, has 21,000 views.
Okay, and they say you're likely to make about $3 per 1,000 views on YouTube, but with that, if there's advertising.
That's not after tax, though.
No, not after tax.
And how much do those
$10.99 for that shit?
So if there's, you said 20,000 views, Al?
21,000.
So, over 60 grand if it's monetized on that one. Before taxes, but still. Wow. I mean, he's not retiring off it, but it's some income.
Yeah, that's what it is. If you're counting it in love.
Yeah. Are you looking up the third one, Al, or should we move on?
I'm trying to find it, but it's not coming up.
Stop.
Okay. Let us know if you find it. In the meantime,
don't let us.
Yeah. In the
Write it down.
Play in the theater, keep it to yourself.
Yeah. In the meantime, fellas, you ready to play the box office top 10 game?
Woo! For the powerhouse week of January 4th.
Right? Yeah. January 4th, the week when all the big movies come out.
Boxing Day or whatever.
We have one release. As far as I can.
You tasing your cat?
My God, Al.
It's a bug zapper. I got mosquitoes.
He's doing his own version of Saw.
So, all right, January 4th, 2013. It's our first movie of 2013, guys. Yay! That banner year.
We made it out of 2012.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a couple years that are going to take us a few months coming up. But anyways, obviously this did not make the box office top 10. We have one opener this week. Yeah, you ready to jump into it?
Mm-hmm.
Do it.
This is the box office top 10. Coming in at number 10. A salesman for a natural gas company experiences life-changing events after arriving in a small town. Oh, I remember this one, where his corporation wants to tap into the available resources.
It's Matty Damon.
Yep.
Is he having a supernatural experience because there's a gas leak?
He's also trapped.
There's ghosts everywhere, and I'm selling the gas.
He gets trapped somewhere, and he has to be rescued by the gas company. All Matt Damon movies, I think, from this point forward, should only feature him being stranded somewhere and getting rescued.
Now, it's got a one word, right? Like whistleblower.
No, it's two words. It doesn't? 2 words. But it's just as generic of a title as that would have been.
Getting
gas man.
Gassing up.
It's called Promised Land.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Okay.
I didn't look, but like I feel like Sandra Bullock's involved somehow. Just it seems like that kind of movie. Coming in at number 9. Oh, no gassy prizes for anybody. No gas points.
Yes, says you.
Oh boy. Okay. Wow. I forgot this movie existed. As inventor Andy Brewster is about to embark on the road trip of a lifetime. A quick stop at his mom's house turns into an unexpected cross-country voyage with her along for the ride.
Don't tell Mom my patent's dead.
It stars Seth Rogen and Barbara Streisand.
Yeah, he was an inventor.
He's an inventor.
That's a thing?
Yes.
Yeah, it's called like Mom Trip.
Very close. Very close. Very close.
Mom Death Race.
What do moms do? What passive aggressive thing? Yeah, kinda. What passive aggressive bullshit do they do?
Nag, complain,
fisticuffs.
What kind of trip? Fisticuffs. It's
head trip.
Fight Mom. Mom Fight Club. No,
it's part of a long series.
Yeah, it's called The Guilt Trip.
Guilt Trip.
The Guilt Trip.
Yeah. That's clever.
How many things you have to invent, and with what sort of prolific before you're called an inventor, not just a guy who owns a patent, you know?
Right.
Well, like the guy in Goonies, or not Goonies, in Gremlins, we see him. He invents some weird shit.
Yeah,
that's a lot of things.
Yeah. He definitely qualifies as an inventor. But if you put a clock on a toothbrush, are you an inventor? Like if you do the one thing.
I invented the ShamWow.
It's the time brush.
Yeah. The time brush.
Time brush. Wow. That's a whole movie. If you could do it with a hot tub.
Were you brushing your teeth and you travel through time?
To where they didn't have toothbrush.
You're brushing your teeth and the bell starts ringing.
Once you are brushing at 88 miles an hour.
Well, I mean, there's a timer in toothbrushes. My electric toothbrush after 2 minutes starts like doing a thing.
But is there a clock?
No.
Do you have to wind it?
Yeah.
You have to wind the toothbrush.
I mean, I do, but I don't know if I have to.
Got a compass in the stock and a thing that tells time.
It has a scope, a bayonet.
But it just sprays scope in your mouth.
All right, that's number 9. Coming in at number 8. Yeah. Okay. There's no way to describe this without just giving it away.
Jurassic Park.
Yes. Okay. I'll describe this in the as it relates to Jurassic Park. 130 years before Jurassic Park.
Is it 10,000 BC?
No, was that 130 years before Jurassic?
No, but that was a movie that came out around that time.
130 years before the film Jurassic Park was released, a man struggles with decisions he must make, and the organization of which he is the head of tears itself apart.
Lincoln.
Yes!
Yeah.
The organization being the United States of America.
It's more
It was the 130 years before Jurassic Park. I'm like, what the fuck happened?
130 years before, yeah. Lincoln, Daniel Day-Lewis as ABL.
So this is the sequel to Lincoln versus Vampires or whatever, right?
Oh, God. If only they had gotten Daniel Day-Lewis for that one. Or for Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure.
Oh, my God.
What if he loved the role of Lincoln so much he insisted on playing Lincoln in every movie that had Lincoln as a character?
What if?
That would be
that
amazing.
Would be life is closer to what I think it should be. Just fun and weird.
He's just the Tony Stark of presidential movies.
Yeah, exactly.
Or Nick Fury. Yeah, there's always a post-credit scene with Abraham Lincoln.
He's like, General Grant, I'm here to talk to you about an initiative.
Yeah, I know.
Coming in at number 7. Pete and Debbie are both about to reach a landmark in their lives. Their kids hate each other. Both of their businesses are failing. They're on the verge of losing their house, and their relationship is threatening to fall apart.
Sounds uplifting.
The older I get, the more this movie hits home anyways.
Crazy Stupid Love?
No, this is starring Paul Rudd. It's a what's his face?
This is 40.
This is 40. Yep.
Yeah, it does hit, and yeah,
because I was not 40 in 2013, but I'm now past 40, so I'm like, yeah. Mm-hmm. Coming in at number 6, Artie and Diane agree to look after their 3 grandkids when their Type A helicopter parents need to leave town for work. Problems arise when the kids' 21st century behavior collides with Artie and Diane's old school methods. It's boomers versus zoomers.
The 21st century behavior. Is he like a robot clone?
Yeah, right.
I assume there's like iPads and shit. Oh my God. So this stars Billy Crystal and Bette Midler.
Yeah.
Huh.
It's the grandkids, or lock them in a closet.
Yeah.
Daddy daycare.
It's parental guidance.
Oh. Wow.
Yeah.
Do you think movies like that, the title comes first? And they work around that? Or...
Like, what if we called a movie Parental Guidance? All right. What would
okay.
What would that be about? I don't know, but Billy Crystal's attached. Wait, I just suggested it 5 seconds ago.
The Key and Peele sketch about Gremlins 2.
Right, exactly.
Right, you know what? You're insane.
It's in the movie.
It's in the movie.
Take 2 words and put them together. Plant gremlin. It's in the movie.
You're like a child. You just strung words together, but you know what? I like it. It's in the movie.
Number 5. A homicide investigator digs deeper into a case involving a trained military sniper who shot 5 random victims.
Oh, shit.
Detective Pikachu.
This was the first. They made at least one sequel to this. I don't know. I don't think they made a third.
Is it just called Sniper?
No. It stars America's sweetheart, Tom Cruise.
Oh. Is it an MI?
Nope, not an MI. It's part of another series he tried to make.
Reacher?
Jack Reacher, yep.
The Reach Around.
The Jack Reacher Around.
You
know, rumor has it Tom Cruise is also familiar with that, so.
Oh, careful. He will sue the shit out of us.
He will.
He's a tiny little thing.
I will bring the full force of the Church of Scientology down upon you.
I was reading.
Just let me know when, Tom.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was reading an article about that recently, and the South Park guys went through the entire process they got to for the Tom Cruise in a closet episode, where they're like, we want to do an episode about Tom Cruise being gay, and their producers were like, no, you can't do that. They're like, okay, so
Viacom sends every lawyer.
Yeah. They're like, okay, so what if we do an episode about people thinking he's gay? Nope, can't do that. What if he's just literally in a closet? They were like, okay,
all right.
You can get away with that one.
Can we say whoopee instead?
Also, can we add R. Kelly and what's his name?
I don't know who else was trapped in a closet.
It was John Travolta. That's right.
Travolta. And Kanye West is a gay fish.
Oh, yeah. That's where the gay fish thing came from? Oh, my God.
Yeah, South Park episode. Kanye West is a gay fish.
Well, that specific episode was like nuts.
Oh, God. Yes.
It was based off the R. Kelly musical thing that they had done on MTV, too.
Yeah, Trapped in the
Closet. Oh, my God.
Yeah, that was a saga.
Trapped in the Closet was crazy.
Yeah, wasn't there a little person?
Yeah, well, yeah, there was a little person in that movie or in that series, whatever it was.
Series, yeah.
If I feel like I refuse to like do anything that like does anything for R. Kelly anymore now, but sometimes every once in a while I get a little pang of missing Ignition and Trapped in a Closet because they were just so damn entertaining.
I believe I can fly.
Oh, yeah. So, all right, that's number 5. Coming in at number 4. Oh, this thing. Okay. In 19th century France, a man who for decades has been hunted by a ruthless policeman after breaking parole agrees to care for a factory worker's daughter. The decision changes their lives forever.
Les Mis.
Les Mis. Les Miserables.
Ugh.
Yeah, the Russell Crowe Les Mis.
Yeah, some of the worst singing ever.
Yes.
I just don't like the musical. The book is so much better. God damn it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I have never gotten around to seeing any version of Les Mis.
Have you read the book, though?
Nope.
Because the book's incredible. Don't watch the shit.
Okay.
Coming in.
I saw Victor Hugo's tomb.
Oh, wow.
Really?
It's in a big building, you know. It's not just in a graveyard.
I thought you were going to say it's not just like in the street. I don't know. It's not just in my house.
Well,
it's not just Victor Hugo, too.
I was going to say a few feet or a few kilometers away, you can see Jim Morrison's. And
okay.
That's in a cemetery.
Oh, it's in that same.
No, it's not. But like I'm saying, for instance, Victor Hugo's
it's
is in more of a museum.
Gotcha.
Type. Anyway.
Okay. So coming in at number 3. A reluctant hero sets out with a spirited group of thieves to reclaim their home and treasure.
All superheroes must die.
Is that one with Eddie Murphy and Matthew Broderick?
No.
Is it pirates?
It does not have pirates in it.
Okay.
It is a fantasy film.
Treasure.
It is a prequel.
The reluctant hero and a band of thieves.
What'd you say, Brian?
Yeah, The Hobbit.
The Hobbit, which one?
Oh, God.
It's the first one.
Smog.
Yeah.
An unexpected journey.
Oh.
Yeah.
So
that long ago? Oh, wow.
Yeah. I'm a gigantic fan of the Lord of the Rings trilogy. The Hobbit prequel trilogy is a hot mess. I hate it.
I still have not seen the second and third movies.
I saw the
Just have not
second.
brought myself to do it.
I saw the second and about 20 minutes of the third. But like
I
it was
fall asleep a lot.
They were bad. They were bad. I really need to eventually get around to watching one of the fan edits that edits it down into 1 2-hour movie. Because I think that might be pretty good.
Smaug was cool.
Smaug was cool. And Martin Freeman as Bilbo was good.
Yeah. The casting was really well done.
Yeah.
It's just it seemed like too much the first.
That dude can do anything.
Legolas did not belong there.
Legolas did not belong there. And once there was a dwarf elf love story, I was like, no, what are you doing? Why?
Hey, man, some of us are really into that. So
it was awful.
They know their audience.
Oh my god.
Nobody.
I would much rather have seen Guillermo del Toro's Hobbit, honestly. That would have been...
So a dwarf elf love interest, that's like any relationship Tom Cruise has been in.
Bada bing. This is
James Marsden.
This episode's going to be all about taking down Tom Cruise, it seems.
I don't know if you guys know this, but he was all of the hostages.
All of the faceless hostages. Yeah. All right, opening at number 2. Didn't make number 1. Opening at number 2. A young woman travels to Texas to collect an inheritance. Little does she know that an encounter with a killer is part of their reward.
What?
They didn't use reward correct.
Yeah. It is a remake of a classic horror film.
Oh. Straw Dogs?
No.
Sugarland Express. That's not a horror.
No. The original was, I believe, the late 70s. Mid to late 70s. Yeah. Definitely mid to late 70s.
Oh, the town that dreaded sundown?
Nope. And okay.
Rosemary's Baby.
The
Rosemary's Baby Shower?
there is the killer is iconic in the vein.
Oh, it's the Friday the 13th.
No, it's a Texas.
No.
He even
Texas
mentioned
Chainsaw Massacre.
Texas. It's the remake of Texas Chainsaw Massacre. It's just called Texas Chainsaw. No
I saw this
massacre.
in movie theaters. Yeah.
It's just it's an infomercial for that particular chainsaw.
It's aimed at lumberjacks.
Don't ever aim your chainsaw at anything you don't intend to chainsaw.
And number 1 this week for looks like what? Oh, 3rd week in a row at number 1. Wow, good for you.
It rises.
What's that, Yoda?
Grover or Yoda. Yes.
I like Cookie Monster.
It rises.
It rises.
It rises.
I will break you.
But first, I'll wine and dine you.
Like, I'll break you. Scoobs.
G Scoob. Yoinks.
Zoinks. Okay, there's no way to describe this without giving it away. With the help of a German bounty hunter, a freed slave sets out to rescue his wife from a brutal plantation owner in Mississippi.
Fucking
Awesome.
Django.
Django Unchained. Yeah. I could not...
That was a Christmas movie?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So
Yeah.
this is the third week.
Oh, right.
Yep.
3rd week. Yeah.
Yep, absolutely. I cannot imagine Will Smith in that. He was originally cast and then dropped out because of all the N-word usage. It was like, it's Tarantino, right?
Yeah.
It's Tarantino, and it's set.
Garfield
It's set at a slave plantation. Like, what are you? I don't know what you expected, Will. So
He's got the charisma, but not the swag for
yeah,
that role.
yeah, absolutely. So that is our box office top 10 for the week, which brings us to the production background.
Oh, wait, we got comics history.
Oh, okay. Al, tell us about it.
No, we don't really.
Thank
This
God.
did not come from a comic, but as Brian shared with us, there was a prequel comic that came out after the movie came out.
like Star Wars, following in a long tradition of
Yeah.
Because Mark Polton fell in love with this movie after being disenchanted with the superhero industry.
I have comments on that. I don't know if he fell in love with this movie or he saw an opportunity for himself.
Yeah, maybe.
Make money.
So I don't know if it ever got released because all I saw was Kickstarter.
It's $4 on Comixology, and I thought about buying it, and I thought also, I don't want to give this guy any money. No. He seems really kind of sad.
And what stories could these characters have?
It was called Charge, an all superheroes must die comic, 90 seconds. And it took place just before the movie. I think it explored the origins of the powers of the three powered, unpowered, or dispowered people that we see in this movie.
Does it even explain why?
Oh, I don't know. Mark Polton had an uncredited, unnamed part in Unbreakable.
Huh.
It's like if a tree falls in the forest and no one's there to hear it. You know, did he actually though?
He wrote for Savage Hawkman for DC and did a bunch of indie stuff. And the art was by Gavin Smith, who is known for The Accelerators and Ghost in the Shell and Dead Legends.
All right.
I didn't buy it. I didn't read it.
Yeah, I don't blame you.
It's fine. Yeah.
Yeah.
We're on your side.
So that article that I sent you guys in Bleeding Cool was written by Mark Polton. I don't know if you noticed that. Mm-hmm. That it was him talking about himself.
Yeah.
It was almost as awkward as this entire movie.
But it was presented like the byline was somebody else who actually worked at Bleeding Cool, and it's just like, hey, Mark Polton writes, and then it's just Mark Polton talking about his Kickstarter.
Yeah, it was very weird. Anyways, that this whole experience of this movie and then finding that, I just struck my faith in humanity down a couple of notches.
Yeah, that's it was gross. That article was gross.
Yeah, he like talked about himself like known as the 7th most overrated writer in comic books.
Wow.
Yeah. The lack of self-awareness or the overwhelming self-awareness to write that in the article. Yeah.
So, all right. Well, thank you for that, Al.
Had to be said.
It did. Yeah. So, all right. So that does bring us to the production. This movie was written and directed by Jason Trost. So, Jason Trost, he is a indie filmmaker. This is his second full-length feature, not his first.
Not his first. No.
His first full-length feature is called The FP, which is about hold on. I want to get this right because this movie sounds even more insane. Even more insane. So
FP.
The FP, all right, is set in a dystopian future where rival gangs fight for control of Fraser Park by challenging each other in Dance Revolution.
I'm sorry, it was
Beat
Revelation.
Beat Revelation, which is essentially Dance Revolution.
A deadly version of Dance Revolution.
Yes. Just okay. The characters' names are LWE, Betro, Jtro, KCDC.
Betro and
his name is Jason Trost, right? So he named his character after himself.
Yeah, exactly.
Jtro,
yeah.
There was the LWE.
Yeah, LWE. Yeah,
one of the characters.
Just this from the description on Wikipedia. Just this one part. Let's see. The leader of the two, Betro, dies, and then his younger brother Jatro is traumatized and leaves the FP. 1 year later,
then he becomes Outro.
1 year later, Betro's best friend Casey DC finds Jatro working as a lumberjack.
What happened to Citro through Itro?
Right?
Yeah, just jumping around.
This is my favorite.
Medications.
This is my favorite part. Casey DC convinces Jatro that the FP needs him because LWE has taken control of the local alcohol industry and is refusing to sell alcoholic drinks to everyone.
So you storm that building. I've seen drunks do more for less.
The lack of alcohol has led to an increase in methamphetamine addicts.
Yes.
That took a long way to get there, but I can
exactly.
Wait.
Hoping now.
I finally got sober thanks to meth.
A
And dancing.
Right? A decrease in homeless people and consequently an increase in ducks.
Are you shitting me?
No, that's what it says.
That's
Wow.
the trade-off?
We know the danger of ducks being allowed to
I assume the homeless people.
willy-nilly.
I assume the homeless people were hunting and eating the ducks, and now that there are
It's a
fewer.
natural ecosystem. It's the circle of life.
A decrease in...
Yeah.
Hey, have you noticed less homeless people? Yeah. Maybe things are turning around. But have you noticed more ducks?
So in 2019, Jason Trost. It was a TV series.
What's that?
Duck Fit, the official FP workout video.
Oh God.
He's on the duck train.
Yeah. So he did make 2 sequels to All Superheroes Must Die. In 2013, he released something called Wet and Reckless, which is a satire of reality television.
Wet and Reckless. That was me. You guys remember?
Trost.
Sorry, Andrea reminded us. Is that a duck fact?
Oh, that might have been a duck fact. We haven't had one of those in a long time.
Yeah, it is a fact that you can trade one homeless person for one duck.
For a duck. Yeah.
I mean, yeah, it is 2021.
Did we consider whether or not the ducks were mules or selling the meth?
They were making it.
They were making it
in their quackery.
So
you go deep enough into the reeds at the edge of the lake, and there's a meth factory.
You can smell bleach and plastic burning.
Jason Trost did have a small part in This Is the End, that Seth Rogen, Jay, what's his face, movie,
yes,
where where he played a cannibal, and he claims that he was playing a cannibal version of his character Jatro from the FB, although none of the filmmakers on This in the End were aware of that.
I was going to say, Evan Goldberg's like, oh, was he? Was he being
that extra? He was in a movie before this.
Actually, his first movie, he was uncredited in Kazam.
Oh.
Way
the
back
most
in
Mandela effect
way
thing
back
ever.
in 96.
Yeah.
Wow.
Jason Trost. This was the stars. Jason,
he really is missing his right eye.
He really is. Yes, he says he's not missing it. He's blind in it, and so he says he wears an eye patch because it.
So I'll give him that. It was clever for him to have half of his mask blown off.
And I did notice like all the little things he did to like disguise it. So yeah, and again, I mean the production.
That was a cool device.
The production on this film wasn't terrible. It really wasn't. It's just it
wasn't great.
No, but it was, for $20,000 and a good chunk of that going towards James Remar. I'll give him props for that. The script left a lot to be desired, as did the
I think
acting.
all the attention was on production.
Yeah, 100%. It does star Jason Trost as John/Charge, Lucas Till as Ben /
Cutthroat.
Cutthroat, yeah. And he, Lucas Till, would go on to play Angus MacGyver in the 2016 reboot of MacGyver.
Yeah.
He also was in Hannah Montana, the movie, The Spy Next Door, Monster Trucks, and he played Havoc.
Yeah.
In the X-Men series.
I didn't notice that.
Yeah.
He's up there on that list now of actors who've played multiple superheroes.
Yeah.
It's true.
For
Yeah.
him.
We saw him in the 2011 X-Men First Class as Havoc. So not our first time with Lucas Till. I'm actually surprised because I'd forgotten that he was somebody when I first watched this through the first time.
Mm-hmm.
And he didn't seem any better than any of the amateur actors, honestly.
Yeah.
No, not really.
James Remar as Rickshaw. James Remar, of course, maybe kind of best known as either Ajax in the Warriors. He was the father. He's been in a million things. He was in.
You know what's funny? As a 6 Degrees kind of thing, you mentioned the director was in This Is the End. Well, the same guys who made Pineapple Express, Evan Goldberg, Seth Rogen. James Rebar's the military dude in the beginning who shuts down Item 9 and calls weed illegal.
Okay.
That's Remar, and he has an eye patch on.
We last saw James Remar in Blade Trinity.
We first saw him in The Phantom.
That's right. I forgot. We also saw him in Judge Dredd. He played Block Warlord Monroe.
That's his name, not title.
Yeah. Let's see. Sophie Merkley played Jill / Shadow. She hasn't done much else. Nothing worth noting. Lee Valmassi played Charlie / The Wall. He is a Caucasian gentleman.
He
is, yes. He was in the FP. And that seems to be the only other thing he was in. Oh, and The Day the Dead Weren't Dead, which was a short film.
That sounds like something that Jason Trost made also.
I would not be surprised, yeah. Sean Whalen plays Manpower.
He's a McPoyle, right? Or no? Just looks like one.
Oh, that was Uncle Sam. That was Uncle Sam, right? The Uncle Sam guy.
Right. Okay, and we'll get there. But yes, his stupid name was Manpower.
Yeah.
And not what you just said, which would make so much sense.
We first saw Sean Whalen in Batman Returns. He played a paper boy. Yeah.
This is the progressive advertising guy, right? The guy who's one of the he sells insurance now with Flo.
I didn't see that in his
credits. You know who he was?
Right.
You know who this guy is? He was the Got Milk guy, Aaron Burr.
Wow. He was in The People Under the Stairs.
Days of Our Lives, The Bold and the Beautiful. He was in Lost for a while.
I wonder if he was bold or beautiful.
I'd say both. He was in Lost. He played Frogurt. Wizards of Waverly Place. Yeah, guy works.
He was in Men in Black.
Men in Black, I'm seeing here. Look, because he's got that weird looking face. So when you need that, except no substitute.
Yeah. He is not a McPoyle. So
no, he's not like that.
He looks like him though. Yeah. So wow, our second most well-known guy. Well, maybe Lucas still also. Brian Taylor played Man, and I don't know. I don't think it's the Brian Taylor.
Does he throw the thigh bone into the air?
That was the guy who was tied up at the beginning. The only hostage who had lines, apart from Cutthroat's sister.
Gotcha.
And so he's just a man, but didn't he feel like he knew a lot?
I thought he was someone that they knew. Yeah. And Nick Principi as Sledge Saw. The fucking Sledge Saw.
Most impractical weapon ever.
Right. Who, let's see. Oh, he's best known as playing Chrome Skull in Laid to Rest and Laid to Rest 2 Chrome Skull.
And again, yeah. Yeah, just another white guy. I think he was Russian.
Yeah, he was, oh, God. This guy is in a bunch of B horror movies. Blood Valley, Femme Fatales, The Summer of Massacre.
Sky Sharks.
Sky Sharks. Yeah. Hatchet 2. Big Stan. Good for him. Good for Stan.
He's not Russian. He was born in Providence, Rhode Island.
No, the character.
The character.
You know what I mean?
Oh.
Yeah.
Like the first time they show, he's at a distance, and pardon me for generalizing, but he had sort of a cholo look, and then you get closer, and he's just a dude in a strongman outfit. Just saying, so white. The whole movie.
Oh, very, very. This is just this dude's friends, and he does not know any people of color.
Yeah.
Yeah. This movie has
James Remar doesn't. They couldn't ask Jimmy.
Right.
Got any friends?
This movie has 0% critic score on Rotten Tomatoes, 23% audience. I pulled one of the 5-star reviews for it.
Oh my God, yes.
All Superheroes Must Die is better than a lot of stuff that comes out of Hollywood today. While they're more concerned with how much money and explosions they can shove into 3 hours, we have independent minds working with a few $1,000s to make film greats such as this. It's a smart, realistic take on the superhero genre, the likes of which haven't been seen before. Jason Trost knows what he's doing, and I believe he'll be around for many years to come. Just remember, this isn't your little brother's typical action figure from Walmart movie.
Wow. And he prophesies.
Written by J-Tro?
Yeah,
Is
Jason.
that the reviewer?
So, allow my intro.
Yeah. Another 5-star review says possibly the lowest budgeted superhero movie ever. And when I say lowest budget, I say lowest budget while making it work.
What? That's what he said?
Yeah. You may be able to notice a lot of the seams and limitations of this hybrid action thriller. However, this is an extremely ambitious film and a must-watch for any aspiring filmmaker. J-Tro is God.
Wow.
Also written by J-Tro.
Written by J-Tro, yes. Whereas Scott writes, why? Question mark. Half a star.
Exactly. Because everyone who loved it had never seen Saw.
Yeah.
Clearly.
Yeah, clearly.
Like, it was so fresh.
That's all I got. Guys, are you ready to jump into this movie?
Just hold the fuck on, will you?
Here we go. This is All Superheroes Must Die. Just like all good dogs go to heaven.
I was trying to think of it, and it just wasn't working. Thank you. Thank you.
We open on Charge, a superhero who apparently has a large amount of credit card debt, waking up in the street.
Charge. I have a question right off the bat. Is this their city, or did they wake up in some weird little? Because it's like Pine Bluff.
I think it was a weird little town that they had never been to before. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, because they know exactly where everything in this town is.
Well, I mean,
the sign on the pharmacy said Fraser Park Pharmacy, but the map said something different.
he was
It said
re-
Pine Crest or something.
he was referencing his first movie. Oh,
Yeah.
No,
Pine Mountain. That's what the map said.
that's what it was. Well,
Oh, yeah.
for
there
it
was a
being
map.
there was a map on the
Yeah.
door.
Well, they had like a paper map that he gave him for
Well,
which
story reasons.
which
no, it was on the door. He ripped the little paper
Oh.
map off.
which
But-
which looked like yeah. So how was he expecting that? What was he told to rip that map down? Because otherwise, how are
No,
they
I think
expecting? How was the dude expecting them to find anywhere in this town they'd never been to before?
Well, that's what I was going to say. He's like, go to the laundromat.
Yeah.
And go to the hardware store.
Well, yeah, he was like, go to the old shack.
Yeah, right.
The old shack.
So that's why I had to ask. Yeah. Okay. So they
Not the new shack.
The old,
years ago. You know?
Not the new
games
shack
away.
they built out near the freeway. The old shack on the frontage road.
Making a new shack.
I think Charge grabbed that map of his own volition.
I think so too.
To show how smart he is.
Yeah, exactly. Rickshaw made a comment later.
Jigsaw?
Anyway.
Oh no, you said rickshaw.
Rickshaw, which is not a scary thing.
No.
Is his birth name just Rick
And his
Shaw?
last name
Maybe
is
it is.
Richard Shaw.
It's not how to
Richard
put it
Shaw.
together. It's the opposite.
Like
It's
rickshaw.
subservient.
He just decided to have people pull him on a little
Or
trailer.
vice versa. He's like, I've always
Yeah.
felt like a loser. It's like, well, branch out. Stop. Riding,
Stop pulling people around in carts.
Yes,
Right?
exactly. Pulling people.
All right. So his costume's all torn up. He's got an injection mark on his wrist. There's another superhero dead in the street. Who the?
Was that an injection mark? It looked like it was like they had like taken like a mole or something.
Oh yeah.
Something.
Like all their superhero powers were focused in their wrists.
They removed a
Moles on
skin
the
tag.
wrists.
Yeah.
Yeah. They're like, these mole-powered superheroes. Which is not our first.
No.
Who lost their
Yeah.
powers.
Yeah. Who have lost their powers?
But they don't tell us what those powers were.
We do not know. We get a few
They do
hints.
eventually.
We get kind of. We get a few hints.
Yeah.
I never did figure out what Shadow's powers were.
Oh, old
She-
gal was supposed to be invisible.
Yeah.
Or yeah.
She was
Oh.
invisible, or could
Yeah,
turn
she got
invisible.
one big
Yeah.
All right.
And so, never mind. Go on.
All right. So he, so there was that dead superhero in the street at the beginning. We never find out anything about that guy. He wasn't
that
in
was from
any
the
of the.
preview.
He wasn't in any of the
Game.
flashbacks, so he was never part of the team. He was just some rando.
Well,
superhero.
Rickshaw has been doing this for a weekend. This is just the second group to come through.
Oh, I see. He's like, all right, we got to get set up. We have another group coming through in 30 minutes, guys.
I rented
like a
this
bracket.
cabinet.
Leave the dead ones. It's
Bracket.
spooky.
Yeah. Whoever survives, then there's a championship. I know how sports work.
So yeah, I told you guys earlier off mic, we watched Spooky House on Saturday, starring Ben Kingsley. When I told Jude that man won an Oscar for playing Gandhi, he lost his mind. Because he literally has a fake curly mustache he wears and a turban. And he says things like, I don't like children. Anyways. And there's an orphan. A kid got orphaned because his mom died of cancer. And the orphanage isn't going to pick him up until the first of the following month. So he's living alone on a houseboat until then.
On a houseboat. Is that the spooky house?
No, it's not.
That's the sequel, Spooky Houseboat.
All right.
Spooky house.
And they kept being scared. Like they break into the kids would break into the spooky house and be terrified by like skeletons and stuff. Yet there's a loose jaguar walking around that they're like, "Oh, hey, boy." I don't know. All right, this is not a spooky house podcast. All right. So he walks around a seemingly abandoned town for a while. Then we get the title card. Then we meet Cutthroat. Cutthroat wakes up in the same situation, but with a civilian tied up with a bomb attached to him. He looked like one of the guys from Mad Max Fury Road, the guy that was tied up. What were they called? The
Blood bags?
not the Proud Boys. What were they? The Proud Boys are different.
The Weeblos. But yeah, he looked like he was a villain or something.
Yeah, like
Formidable.
he looked like something, not just a
But no.
rando.
No, let's stop and look at the reality. He runs that antique shop.
Oh, he was in the antique shop, wasn't he? Oh no. Okay. The Wall and Shadow who are two other superheroes, wake up in various places with the same mark on their wrists. They all find televisions near them.
The
Did
wall
they
was
name
played by-
themselves?
They must have. No
They're
one
like,
else
"Call
named
me
them.
The Wall.
Was the
Call me
wall like
Shadow."
sort of juggernaut like sort of unmovable? Was that his
I think
idea?
so.
They said he was.
Because
Immovable.
we find out later that he's never experienced pain.
Which,
All right, we did learn that.
but we also find out that they were given their powers by something, quote,
Something that landed.
coming out of the sky.
Yeah.
But the prequel comic explains that these three have had their powers since the dawn of time.
What?
Yeah.
So they're all never mind. We're not talking about
No, but the movie clearly indicates they were given powers by some sort of meteor or something.
everyone except for
And
John.
and like at the point where they are the age they currently look.
Yeah, I thought they were just that age.
Okay. This all right.
I mean, I could
It's a
I
hot
could
mess,
buy
but
that they don't
they're-
age as quickly, but nobody said that.
No. Well, no, they did. They did say they don't age.
Oh.
They did say they don't age. But they also said when that thing came out of the sky and gave us our
I
powers.
remember that.
Like I didn't get any powers. Like
I found contradictions within the same scene.
Yeah.
We'll get there. I wrote it down somewhere. But I'm so glad that Rickshaw gave everybody Band-Aids for
That is thoughtful.
their
Little Neosporin.
well, it's like it's like when you get a vaccination, they just put a Band-Aid over it. You don't want to bleed all over your clothes. That'd be
I don't want you to die from sepsis. I want you to blow up.
All right. So then Rickshaw, who spent a fortune on CRT televisions, comes on and explains to them that he's devised a game. A game in which you have to hit a golf ball into one of three holes in order to win a new car.
Ding, 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 ding. Or the showcase.
Yeah, and to advance to the showcase showdown.
Yeah. Promotional consideration provided by Roy Hill.
Remember, spay and neuter your pets.
Fucking do it.
So, all right, he's taken away their powers and, quote, has over 100 innocents tied up around the town in peril. 100 innocent civilians, he says.
Yeah.
I
Did
kept
you do a test to make sure everyone was innocent.
Where were all of these people? Because we did not see anywhere near 100 people.
Oh, the rec center was the final challenge that they just didn't get to.
Oh.
But yeah, it's definitely the sleepy little town. It's like one of the little towns that exists for tourists to rent cabins. and
Yeah.
go camping and stuff. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, totally.
Did they go door to door and kidnap everybody?
That's what I'm wondering. That's my
Well,
Well,
point.
and it's like, yeah. Were there, and he says 100 people, but there's not. We see 15. I counted.
And there would be no nightlife in a little town. That makes sense. But yes, there's nobody else that's not a superhero or a hostage.
No, nobody
I
else.
guess they're all captured.
Seen in the town.
I guess
so.
Yeah. Well, and he says he rigged the whole town to blow. Like, what does that mean, the whole town? Because it's spread out. There's a lot of like area that's just like trees in between some of these buildings. Like, did you blow up all the trees in between too?
That's why I chose that town, because it was the most manageable in those ways.
They need to be able to get from the
Laundromat.
antique store to the laundromat real quickly.
Real quick.
5 minutes.
Yeah.
And UHF reception televisions everywhere.
Yes.
We'll get there.
Oh my
Oh,
God.
God.
Yeah. Oh my God. All the television system. Oh yeah. And he says he's hooked into the town surveillance system. Like what? The town surveillance system?
This one, there's one stoplight and it's a flashing stop sign light. Yeah.
Yeah, this all ties into the map also, which
Yeah. Rickshaw lets us know that the rules are incredibly simple.
They are, except they're not. They're not simple at all. Go ahead, Al.
Oh no!
no, you looked
sorry.
like you were telling me one moment.
No, that's number one.
Oh, number one. Okay. So
I will say that the UHF, what do they call that? The color bar screen. Visually that was kind of cool because everything was so dark.
Yeah,
test pattern. Yes.
And
everything was so dark that sometimes that would pop on, and instantly sort of light up that space.
Yeah.
It was one visual thing that I was like, okay, that's cool.
I thought it was cool until something that drove me nuts about that, which we'll get to later on in the movie. I just could not. Now I just can't get it out of my mind. It's so lazy and so frustrating, particularly with the color bars.
All right.
Surveillance.
Okay, so he says they have to play his game or everyone dies, and he tells them to meet at the laundromat, which the
laundromat of justice.
So they meet. We learn their real names.
And he explodes the man.
Yes, he explodes
in the antique shop.
He does. He explodes that guy. He explodes man.
And the revolution begins.
His name was Manfred Mann.
Yeah. Oh no!
Yeah, so we meet. We learn their real names: John, Ben, Charlie, Jill. They're the Partridge Family. We learned that John, who was charged, wasn't affected by the injection. He apparently, quote, still has his powers. He's still strong.
Because he shook hands with the wall, and
who came tumbling down.
Yeah.
Roger Waters was
Charlie. They shook hands, and it caused Charlie pain in his hand.
Yes.
He gripped him so tight. It's like, oh, you're still strong.
They're like manly, strong, so tall, dreamy.
But since he didn't really have powers, do you think he was called Charge because he was in charge?
Yeah, 100%. He was
called, or he just charged into situations.
Yeah, something like that. But also, yeah, maybe like, oh shit, all my friends got superpowers. I better start working out. It's basically what happened.
Yeah.
They totally should have made Charge be Charlie.
Yeah.
So it could be Charles in charge.
Also, why? Like, if like all of his friends have superpowers, but he doesn't, his only power then is like being tough. Like, why didn't they do
friendship?
Like? Why did? Yeah,
Really?
They should have done like a Batman style thing where he was like he became like tech guy and like had to like
right something like that. But it's funny. It's like, and I know later, years later in the comics, they kind of did. But it's like Flash Thompson seeing Spider-Man and being like, "Hell yeah, let's do this!"
Like, I'm coming, Spidey.
Here I come. I'm running
as fast as I can, which is still about 15 miles an hour.
Yeah, about Flash.
Charge ended up reminding me of Kick-Ass without the
yeah
the I don't know, the skeletal reconstruction.
Yeah, I can see that.
The whole thing reminded me.
And he was green.
The boys. Yeah, it was green. I like.
And he was wearing a wetsuit.
Yes.
Obviously, this preceded the boys, but yeah, he was so close to that sort of thing.
yeah, kind of. All right, so Rickshaw comes back on one of the TVs at the laundromat, tells them to go to the hardware store. It's just a tour of the town. The hardware store, the laundromat.
The hardware.
Like,
and he just pops on TVs. It's like when Krusty the Clown made that really terrible version of his show out of that alkaline
the Stingy and Battery Show.
Featuring Dwight Eisenhower.
So all right, they arrive at the hardware store. And there's a countdown on the TV that's there. There's a few melee weapons there. There's like a tire iron and some other stuff.
A wooden stick.
Chain. Yeah. I think Charge grabbed an axe handle.
Yeah.
But they definitely only chose from the things that were left on the table. They didn't look around the hardware store. You know, like a garden weasel could fuck shit up.
Yeah.
Garden weasel.
A sledgehammer. Like, have you any of you guys watched Mr. In Between? No. It's an Australian show about like a hitman. But it's like one of those shows where it's like hitman, but also he's got like a private life where he has to deal with his teenage daughter, stuff like that. Almost like Sopranos kind of, but Australian and more comedic. But he's like constantly like he's going shopping and he's like at a hardware or he's like at a sporting goods store and he's like getting like a tent and like some like tennis balls and stuff. And then he like finds a hatchet and he's like, and like 2 scenes later he's like murdering people with it. But yeah, you can find a lot of things in stores, hardware stores, sporting goods stores that could kill people easily.
Oh yeah, sometimes
So all right,
A big enough book will do the trick.
hardware stores.
what was that?
The only reason.
So all right, they leave the civilians there tied up. The amount of like they save nobody. They save no one.
Nope.
No one
yeah.
gets saved.
And we never know who anyone is, so there's absolutely no investment.
Yeah, other than the sister.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Oh, they blew up. That's too bad.
Yeah. Yeah, most of the time they're hooded, so we don't even get to see a face. We don't even get to see like fear in the eyes, like
Because they're the same people over and over again.
exactly.
Exactly.
Yeah. It's the
in the
extras of
credits,
the party.
The innocents are 4 people
Mm-hmm.
throughout.
Yep.
Well, Pine Mountain's a dirty place.
So all right, they're directed to their next destination. They're told to divide up into 2 teams: Team Romance and Team Irony. Me, I'm all on board with Team Rocket personally.
Yeah.
They are sent to the junkyard and the lumber yard. And again, they know how to find these places in a
They know where
town
they are.
they presumably have never been to.
And 2, Rickshaw reminds us that the rules of round 1 are quite simple.
Again,
That's it.
again, they're quite
And
simple.
I love that right before they left, Shadow and Charge are looking each other in the eye and use the walkie-talkies to be like, be careful.
Right? They're 15 feet away from each other.
They're looking at each other.
Right.
Anyway.
They had to make sure they worked.
Right. Yeah. It's not stupid, but it makes me laugh.
It would have been
But
really
it's
funny if they'd been like, be
Yeah.
careful. Over.
You don't have to make the sound.
So all right. The teams are John and Ben and Jill and Charlie.
American Gladiator.
Yeah. On the way, John and Ben argue. They've got a rocky past. Jill and Charlie apparently had an affair, even though she and John were involved. They arrive at their respective yards of junk and lumber, and, and John and Ben find a guy in a cage and 5 civilians tied up. There's a bomb with a lit fuse.
Oh boy, is it lit.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yet again, Rickshaw tells us that the rules are quite, you got it, simple.
You know, it's one of those things. If you have to tell me the rules are simple, they aren't. If you have to tell me what a nice guy you are, you're not.
You're not.
Okay, so did James Remart film all of this movie in about 25 minutes?
100%.
Had to have. Yeah.
It was one day.
One
It was a
scene.
1 day.
Well, I
shoot
think it
for
was
him.
less than 1 day. I think like an hour is pushing it
Right. And
Because he said the same
probably
thing.
nobody else was there.
over and over, and then we get our finale scene with him. But
Yeah, it was 100% just him and Jay Trost, and they were they shot it like he had the cue cards up. Dude went through it once, maybe twice, and then they did the end scene where he dies. Boom, you're out of here. There's your $10,000.
Maybe that's how they save some money on paying James.
Yeah.
Like
Maybe.
it's under an hour, man. 5,000.
Like, all right, fine.
So that
We're
guy's
gonna
a
film this
villain.
in my rec room, right?
one of the X-Men is in this movie. This is a serious superhero movie.
Right? There's an X-Men in here. What the hell?
So it wasn't clear that they knew what was his name? Sledge Saw.
Sledge saw.
Right.
Sledge saw.
Sledge saw.
So it wasn't clear. They said his name like they were supposed to know, but it wasn't real clear if they did. But the science of fighting on a trampoline was not accurate. No, a wrestling mat has shocks and springs, but you can get purchase on it. You don't sink down into.
Yeah. Sledge Saw appeared in the prequel comic.
Okay.
Yeah.
And he's just a circus strongman because that was his outfit.
From what I gleaned, he was just a strong man. There was a hero that didn't make it into this movie, who he picked up and broke his back over his knee and then threw him off the roof.
Like Bane style.
I'll break you.
Strong man. Disappointment to his family.
I think that
he's a circus strongman, but he leads with his face.
Yeah.
He just headbutted that dude like 5 times. He can lift a barbell of 1,000 pounds with his.
So John kills Sledge Saw, while like the other dude can't stamp out the thing. It never occurs to him to try to cut it.
No,
he's hitting it with the
chain. Yes,
like
with the chain, and he's not making contact each time because he's swinging it.
Why would you hit it with a
glove?
Like, this is the most ridiculous
you can tear
bullshit.
it with your fingers. It's a fuse. It's
pull it out
at worst.
Pull it out.
Just pull it out.
Lick your fingers.
Well, and there's that point where Rickshaw is like playing with dynamite. I'm like, what is this? Is this the 1920s? Are you Snidely Whiplash? Like you have a bundle of dynamite?
They had hand crank alarm clocks on them.
Yeah.
Like, what the hell?
And curly wires.
Pee on that shit.
Right?
Take a dump on it. I don't know.
There's any number of things that will smother the little tiny like spark. Yeah.
Yeah, or exactly. Stand on it and don't move until the other guy has removed the hostages, and then step off of it.
Well, yeah, but in the end, the fuse didn't even matter because it was just a trick. Like,
but they blew up.
Yeah, they blew up, but it wasn't because of the fuse.
He had like a remote detonator also.
Yeah. So the fuse.
No, I was talking the practicality of a fuse.
Yeah, but the fuse, like, or wet your fingers and pinch it. Like,
it's like Bane. It's similar to Bane, where he's like, we have a trigger, and also it's going to go off eventually, anyways.
Yeah, no matter what, it's going to blow up. But we also have a trigger. All right. So
we find out at this point. Cutthroat says, "I could have saved them if I was still fast."
Yes.
So apparently he's a speedster
with the name Cutthroat.
I guess he can run up behind you and cut your throat.
I guess. Yeah. Either way, it sounds sort of dark.
Yeah, Cutthroat sounds like a bad guy's name.
Yeah, it's a pirate,
and has nothing whatsoever to do with speed.
Yeah.
So he named himself that, I would assume, because he's, I don't know.
Well, they really wanted Charge to be Cutthroat, but the
when did we charge?
Eye patch thing.
Yeah,
like 2 on the
nose. So all right, and then the civilians blow up, even though they do eventually get the fuse out. Meanwhile, Jill and Charlie have a run-in with the guy in an Uncle Sam costume with a flamethrower
called Manpower.
Manpower.
No, I didn't look it up, but I think Uncle Sam is. I don't think that's a trademarked name.
No,
I think it's in the public domain.
Yeah,
but it could have been or General something.
It could have been Uncle Slam.
Uncle
Shit like that,
you know? Yeah, that would be fantastic.
Yeah,
and he even starts with the "I want you," but it's Manpower.
And there was a number of like flipping you off like gags throughout this. Like, it happened frequently.
Yeah, 11-year-olds would love this.
Oh yeah.
But Manpower is the place that like helps you get a job.
Yeah.
You're an out of work contractor.
It's a temp service.
Gigs.
Yeah, it's a temp service. 100%. Day labor. Yeah.
He's imposing about
strong man. That's a good name for the guy's power is to crush beer cans with his hands.
Say Sledge Saw.
Would have been right. If he'd had a saw of some sort,
or
a hammer saw.
Yeah, one side's a chainsaw, the other side's a sledgehammer.
Oh no, it's Leatherman.
They couldn't afford to execute these all the way.
Yeah,
it's just a regular hand saw with a sledgehammer peen on the end.
It's like knife wrench. Knife wrench.
So it's
like, damn, I grabbed the wrong side of the handle again.
He who is worthy can feel the power of the bandsaw.
The sledge saw.
Pine Mountain.
Whoever has smoked enough meth to use the sledge saw.
Yeah, ducks everywhere.
All right, so they radio Charlie and the other dude.
Did Rickshaw? Am I getting that right? Rickshaw.
not Charlie.
Did he give
Rickshaw.
them the radios?
No,
He,
they
like,
got
gave
them at
them-
the hardware store.
Yeah,
Oh,
Or the the hardware store.
Yeah.
That's right.
yeah. Okay. Oh, so they radio John and Ben. They get John and Ben to come there. They arrive. But it's too late because Manpower's already stabbed Charlie.
Well, the wall is subdued with one punch to the face.
Yeah.
Yep.
Because he's never felt pain before
Yeah, and he just falls down and like lays there like, oh,
and cries.
And he's called the wall, but actually it's just thin framing and two sheets of drywall. And you can put your fist right through it.
Yeah.
6-foot studs instead of two.
Manpower decides he's a cannibal.
I guess.
He wants to eat his insides and gain his power. He said something like that.
Jason Charles like, it's a metaphor, man.
It's deep.
it'll all make
How the
sense when you see
government-
my cameo, and this is the end.
Right.
Yeah, it all fits. This will all make sense.
Yeah.
Read this prequel comic. See me in this.
So they arrive, they kill Manpower, but it's too late. Charlie dies.
Does it kill him? He just knocks him into some boxes.
I don't know.
Or
He
a
never,
crate.
he never gets up and
knocks him
does.
into a wooden crate, and he's just gone.
You have to
Well,
assume
and-
he's dead. Otherwise, he would have gotten up and come after
Up
them
again.
again.
And
does-
eaten their insides.
Yeah.
Is Charlie sort of got a Lenny from Mice and Men thing going? Because Charge definitely treats him that way. He's like,
Yeah.
Shh, you're gonna be fine. You're gonna be, like you're dealing with either your pet dog or a child. I'm just gonna walk over here and talk with the grown-ups.
Yeah.
But we're gonna talk about how great you're doing. So don't you worry.
You're doing great, Tiger. Yeah.
You're gonna go to a farm upstate.
So all right. Then the civilians there also blow up. There were several scenes of things blowing up where like it was just a shot of the heroes and like there was an explosion sound and they someone offset was just throwing rubble or throwing pieces of things on into the
did
camera.
not have money for explosions. Yeah. Like all those gas cans and the hostages, it was like, psh, and like a board, a 2x4 flew over near them.
Yeah. While an
4 cans of
explosion
gasoline.
sound happened. Yeah. So
Charge had a line saying he makes us think we can win, pulls the rug out from under us, which is Rickshaw said the same thing in his first video. Like, I'm going to pull the rug out from under you.
After I'm done pulling this wicker cart.
it's like, there's lots of rugs and rugs will be pulled. Now go down to the rug store. It's near the
Pick
old
one out.
shack. Yeah.
It's not part of the scheme.
Pick out a rug and I'll pull it. It's like Vanilla Ice. If you've got a rug, I'll pull it. All right. So they realize that he's just going to blow up the civilians no matter what. Rickshaw comes back on a TV, tells them at this point to go to the old shack. Then we get our first flashback.
Do you think he plays
hang on.
reruns of the Three Stooges in between his messages?
At this point, he calls round 1 the warm-up round, and round 2 is the bonus round.
So where's the regular round?
Where's number? Yeah, because then there's 3, right? Or 4
Yeah, and after the bonus round, there's more. The bonus round should be at the end.
at the end because it's like a bonus.
The
It's like
round,
extra.
the round naming convention in this film is unforgivable.
Unforgivable. Rickshaw, their
Took
most
me right out of
hated
the
nemesis.
story.
Yeah.
Who knew how to take their powers but waited this long?
Right.
Why'd you lose so many times, Rickshaw? Sounds like that's on you.
Do you think that James Remar asked, like, why is this the bonus round? This should be the end. And they're like, dude, shut up. We're paying you too much. You just got to keep reading the lines.
Yeah, there's no time. There's no time.
Just like Dennis Hopper in that Crow.
Oh
movie.
God, yeah, 100%.
Again, one day, few hours.
Yeah, shows up doing my lines. Okay, I'm out of here. Bada bing, bada boom. They're like, okay, I got the tape.
Remarred.
I got
One
the
of those like you have to pay him before he does the work.
Yeah, 100%. So
I never want to do.
all right, so they get to the old shack for some cider.
Sorry. We the flashback. You started talking about it.
Yeah. That's right. Right. We got our first flashback.
And they're on the roof. I swear, Tommy Wiseau.
No, this isn't the roof. This isn't the roof.
It's not the roof scene.
No, this is the party scene. They're at a party in college. John and Jill hook up, but they get interrupted because his watch, I don't know, is telling him he has to take his vitamins or something.
Keeps beeping. Yeah. He's got Clark Kent glasses.
He does, yeah.
Yeah, the alarms for the big psych test that he has are studying.
I'm pretty sure it tells him it's time to take his multivitamin. Yeah.
We need a hero.
Yeah, so they get to the old shack. They find coffins and civilians tied up. The coffins have their names on them. There's a gun on their table. They're told to kill themselves to save the civilians, but instead John just shoots the civilians.
After almost shooting himself in the head really dramatically.
Yeah.
This guy is unstable.
Yes, he is. And
I'm going to kill myself. Wait, no. I'm going to kill these people instead.
It's
just like that.
It's the speed theory. Shoot the hostages, take them out of the equation.
Yeah, it's a badass movie.
Cutthroat says, "I'm done playing fair," and Charge says, "That's just what he wants." I keep bringing up these lines because they get repeated.
Yeah.
And they're so
that was number one of "That's just what he wants."
Yeah.
That's just what
he wants. He was like, no, guys, what I really want is to be loved.
Right. His motivation is not important at this point.
No, it's not.
We need to help.
And so then Rickshaw sends him to the bar. They arrive at the bar.
He says, wait. Oh, this was at the beginning of this round before he shoots the people. He says, "This round will be the most fun yet." It's the second round.
Yes.
It's the most fun yet.
Yeah. It's an easy, it's like
round.
rated.
Oh, and for the fourth time, he says this game is the simplest yet also.
They've all been
that's
pretty
four
simple.
simples so far. I don't think we're even halfway through the movie.
But then Shadow's like, I have to go back to the laundromat and put my clothes in the dryer.
Someone's going to steal my clothes.
My Shadow clothes.
Right, Cutthroat's like, can we swing back by the antique shop? Because there was this little stained glass lamp.
My sister would love.
Yeah, my sister would love it. Oh, God, yeah. So they get to the bar. They find two guns and Ben's sister, Emily, tied up. They're told Ben has to kill either Jill or John to save his sister. Rickshaw doesn't care which. Ben grabs a gun. John and he struggles. Then there's a knife, I guess. So there's a knife. And is that why he's Cutthroat?
There are a couple of knives.
Were the knives there? They were on the table?
They were just there.
Okay.
It's like a bar/pizza place.
Of course.
There were pizza boxes stacked up.
What if there was a pizza cutter on there and he has to slice them?
What's funny is there are perfectly reasonable reasons to have a knife in a bar.
Yeah. Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
We need to get a
limes
too.
So they struggle. John ends up stabbing Ben. John gets slashed in the chest. Ben dies, and Emily gets blown up. Emily's line, her one-line reading was so terrible. John, help me, help me, help me. Or no, what was his name? Ben, help me, Ben. that was her exact reading.
She was pretty firmly gagged, and then just suddenly cutscene. Just was not.
Yeah.
Gagged.
He should have been like, sorry, bitch, I'm Cutthroat.
Sorry, sis.
Sorry, sis. This is Pine Bluffs. What is the name of the town? I don't know.
Pine Mountain.
You died the moment you came here.
For summer.
We're going to take the ski lift up to the top. Yeah.
As they are fighting, Cutthroat in charge, it was the third instance of Charge says, "This is exactly what Rickshaw wants."
Okay.
Rickshaw's,
Dog, you just shot 2 people in the face.
yeah,
Did you want that?
just to take them out of the equation. Yeah. So all right. So then we get another flashback. Ben and John are talking in a car. They're arguing about Ben being reckless. And that's all. That's the whole
cannon.
yeah.
I love this moment because he's like, those people wouldn't, I would have taken care of them. He's like, you needed my help. Like the director and the writer and the lead actor of this movie is the most important thing in this whole thing, no matter what happens.
Oh yeah.
Well, and in that flashback, that takes place a few hours after he has adopted Cutthroat as his ward.
Like, remember when you were in the circus and your parents died in that trapeze accident?
When you were
You live with me
27
And you got speed.
and also apparently knives. I don't know. You're Cutthroat. What is that
Like,
about?
you couldn't even feed yourself. I've been hand feeding you grapes for a week.
I chew them up and spit them into your mouth.
Totally unnecessary, but
I just want to see
You're
George
my ward now.
Clooney chewing up grapes and spitting them into Chris. What's his face's mouth? Chris O'Donnell's mouth. Yeah. All
Their
right.
relationship is entirely symbiotic, though, because what's his name? Cutthroat, peripheral vision. You know,
Yeah.
warns him about things coming up.
Oh, right, yeah.
No, there was one scene where
Sorry, punching down, but goddamn,
right.
No, there
that's
was-
like his only value, I guess.
Yeah, there was one scene where John walks into a room and there's a hanging lamp and it bumps into the side of his head because he couldn't see it. And I was like, oh, that wasn't
my God.
that wasn't on purpose. That's just the perils of having one eye. Oh no.
Well, and also them just powering through this movie. They're like, no, we can't shoot it again.
No, we can't.
The whole thing is in one take.
Close enough. Yeah. We only have this town for 12 hours.
We've hacked into their surveillance.
This town surveillance system.
Like they're London.
All right. So then in the present, John explains to Jill that he knows Rickshaw must be close because of all the surveillance
triangulated.
stuff. Yeah, he says triangulate like 3 times in this conversation.
We can triangulate his location.
Right, it's
From
like
the-
enhance.
Yeah.
From the TV location.
Which, if you don't know this, that is how law enforcement can triangulate your location, even on like a burner phone, because
Right.
they can, they
They
take
ping
the
it.
3 towers, the time frame that it takes for the information to travel back and forth. Triangulating someone's location using radio is how we do it. That's like
how we do it.
radar and things like that work that way. They're just watching fucking TVs.
Yeah.
The quality
Well,
is no
on a-
different.
Yeah. There's no
hand-drawn,
way.
Xeroxed map and then
yeah.
and with Sharpie.
There is no
Definitely.
reason he would be exactly in the center in between these spots.
Well, and if
Yeah,
he was
I
really
mean-
clever, he would have been in the building next door to the exact center,
Yeah.
watched them
It's
arrive
like
and said,
tiptoe
ha
following them.
you fell right into my very obvious trap of the triangulation device, whatever the fuck, paper map.
They run out of the bar and they're like, "We need to get there right now. We could take this rickshaw." Oh no!
So just
This is what he wants.
real quick.
The rules are simple as he's running them there.
Kramer and Newman.
Rickshaw rules are simple. You have to come from Jamaica to win the gold medal. Anyway,
Keep your hands in the rickshaw at all times.
so the enhance reminded me of it. So in Spooky House, there's a scene where this was shot in 1998. FYI, there's a scene where they're watching a video on the internet with I'm pretty sure what was that old video player that Apple used in the early
QuickTime.
Yeah, QuickTime. They're watching a QuickTime video of the trick where the dude's wife disappeared, the magician's wife, Ben Kingsley's wife disappeared. And they're like, he's saying something there. And she clicks an enhance button on QuickTime. And it enhances, it zooms into his mouth and enhances the wave file so they can hear what he whispered to his wife. And what he whispers to his wife is, "I hate children." right before she's about to
Cat's out of
die
the
in a
bag.
magic trick.
Wow.
Anyways, okay, so
Should we do Spooky House for our 100th episode?
I almost
are
think
doing
it was
Spooky House.
it was crazy. It was
Anyway.
crazy. All right. So then so John confesses to Jill that he never had superpowers, and that's why Rickshaw's injection didn't work. Was Rickshaw just giving them all 5G?
Is that what it was?
Yeah.
That's why they could triangulate his location.
That's how.
That's how it
On the
happened.
fastest network yet.
Yeah. He tells her that he's in love with her. Then the TV comes on, and Rickshaw tells him to go to the thrift store. Pick out some
But
old.
then he changes the channel, and it's I Love Lucy.
Yeah. Go to the thrift store. Pick out some 12-year-old brown corduroys.
The finals are coming up, he says.
The
Finals.
finals.
The finals.
First, they're going to state.
Okay, so what were the names? Okay, so we had the warm-up round,
The warm-up round,
the bonus round.
the elimination round
Right.
was the last one with the sister.
What?
And then the finals?
Yes, and then the finals. Yeah. All right. Whatever, Rickshaw. Naming rounds is not your strong suit.
we don't know what his strong suit is other than possibly pulling a cart.
And pulling rugs.
That's right. That's how you practice. That's how you
And
train.
keeping the rules simple.
Yes. So they arrive at the thrift store. They're told that the store is wired to blow up and that one of them has to be dead in 90 seconds or the store will blow up. Or they
Okay, so
could.
this
And
is
it's,
the part.
and it's 50% off blue tags.
Woo!
So I don't know if anybody set their watch to the timer here. This 90 seconds seemed to go on for
Oh,
ever.
all
Well,
of
it was
all
80
of the
seconds.
timers were way off. Yeah.
So the other thing is we have the test image right on the screen with the clock cycling down. Dramatic effect. They're zooming in on this screen. And then we look away, we look at our characters, and then we're zooming in on the screen again. The numbers as they are counting down are superimposed over it, and you can see them drifting across
Yeah.
Oh,
the number
no.
people out of the color bars
Oh no.
as we're zooming in. So constantly these numbers are changing, and they keep shooting back to it. And by the end of it, I was just like screaming at my TV, like, God, just move the numbers or stay at one focal point.
Oh no.
This ends our broadcast day.
Oh God, it was so frustrating because they did it. They shot back and forth between it like at least 6 seconds. This is the laziest shit I've ever
Oh
seen.
my god.
There's a
I
lot
didn't
of
need the
lazy-
numbers on the screen. Yeah. Anyways,
All
it's
right.
a small thing.
Go, Al.
Mm-mm.
No. Okay. So, John tells Jill to shoot him somewhere not lethal that looks good.
Right in the dick.
No, you would bleed out pretty quick.
Yeah.
There's a lot of blood flowing there.
Second only to the heart. Yeah.
And when she leaves, and Rickshaw isn't watching, he'll go and find Rickshaw's position and kill him. So, all right. Well, so there's a couple things here. And actually it reminds me about the knife in What's-His-Face's stomach earlier. So he says, no, further to the right. Don't shoot me in the heart. That's the lungs. That's just as bad.
Yeah.
Just as bad as the heart.
Or you want to go for the leg, like
Well,
the
no, but he
thigh.
wants it to look good. So, like, all right, the shoulder maybe. I can see the
Yeah.
shoulder.
The shoulder, the stomach, it's painful.
Right.
And you may die. You're probably
But
going to
not
die.
quickly. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, okay, so that's
a gunshot's nothing to laugh at.
no, it's not.
Yeah.
But that brings me back to the knife wound in what's his face? The wall.
The wall.
I was like, they're like, he's gonna die any second. I looked that up. I mean, yes, but also if you apply pressure to us, I spent a long time looking at this. If you get stabbed directly in the gut, not in the sides, but directly in the middle of the gut, chances are it's not going to pierce an intestine because those tend to just move because the blade isn't moving fast enough to pierce them.
Yeah.
So if you apply pressure to a direct gut wound with a knife, gunshots, whole nother story, but with a knife, chances are you're going to survive for several hours, long enough to get to an ER.
It's going to hurt.
It's going to hurt. It's going to suck.
But if the object is not removed, you definitely will be okay to go to a hospital, and
Yeah, but so
it's once you take it out is what makes it particularly deadly.
Right, but like continuing to keep the pressure there so you don't bleed out, you're not going to get sepsis and die for. You got a couple hours. You got some time.
Yeah. No. Yeah, that's a survival.
Yeah, unless you like kidney or liver. Or
exactly, which are all not directly in the middle. The only way that's likely to happen for you to die immediately is if by some chance you did happen to get an intestine.
Or pierce your stomach, so that the acid, if the acid drains it out of,
So, I mean,
just poison your bloodstream. Yeah.
As we see, these heroes are notoriously bad at saving people.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
They're bad at this. But again, getting shot to the right of the heart is not preferable to getting shot in the heart.
Good point.
And he specifically says, no, my right.
He's still got a collapsed lung.
Yeah.
He's bleeding in there.
You can run on a collapsed lung.
He's just breathing blood at that point.
And you have to be a marksman, Yeah. It's just a quarter of an inch. In any way.
And have some understanding of anatomy. Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Your average human being with gun training would still kill somebody.
Yeah. Well, and it was kind of right in the middle, so it definitely broke his breastbone. Like ribs are shattered. That he's screwed up, man.
Yeah, I mean you guys are right, the shoulder, but so you'd have to be very precise.
Yeah. Yeah. So all right. So
what caliber is this weapon? We're just
that's
a good point.
So he gets shot. She leaves, and we get our last flashback, which is the roof scene. John convincing the others to become superheroes.
Rickshaw, he's been crossing out people's faces.
Yeah.
Because he has
and dotting their faces also with the marker.
Yeah, just stabbing their faces with the pen. So he's got photos of them without masks. He knows their identities. But at this point, he crosses out John's face, Charge's face, and he draws a heart around Jill's face. Was this all for potential sex?
Oh, was he like in love with Jill?
I don't know.
Is that why he kept failing? Is that what he meant?
But he still sent her. I mean, even after Charge is presumably dead, he then sends her to go play with some grenades with some hostages. So I don't know.
Jude noted that a number of these photographs were like pretty candid and like they were like smiling at the camera and stuff. So he was like, was he just Facebook stalking them?
Probably.
I thought maybe he was friends with them, or maybe he was like a regular at the restaurant that they all worked at together or something. It's like, let's get some.
We had to fill in all those, which is not always a bad thing, but it seems real crucial to tell you who the villain is and why.
Yeah. There's little things that are like, okay, so like he mentioned something like when that thing came out of the sky, it gave us powers. Like, okay, cool. That's all fine. I need. Yeah. I accept that.
Yeah, I appreciate
Until
that.
Al tells us that in the prequel series, they had the powers since the dawn of time.
Well, that thing came out of the sky at the dawn of time, obviously.
But also, he says he's aging and he has no power, so he can't be more than in his late 20s at the most. That dude, like,
that's true.
It couldn't have happened more than 10 years prior.
Well, in this universe, the dawn of time was about 20 years ago.
1952.
I skipped over that contradiction. It was way earlier when Shadow and the Wall were walking to the junkyard.
Yeah.
Or the lumberyard. I forget which.
Doesn't matter.
But she says, how do you think we got here? He says, I don't know. You went down hard, though. Do you remember? No, nothing. Like, how do you know she went down hard?
Right?
If you don't remember anything.
Yeah.
You just said that.
But I know now why Shadow and Wall were teamed up. Because Shadow can only use her powers when there's a wall in which to project her shadow.
All right. So John wakes up. He triangulates the map. And
He draws
Right.
lines
A
between
triangle.
all of the yards
yes.
and the laundromat and the antique store, right? Or no, the antique store was at the center,
Yeah.
right?
I don't remember.
I
What
don't
was
think
at
it was
the
the
center.
antique store, but just wherever he was
Yeah,
Okay.
wherever
Was it-
Rickshaw was
in the center.
conveniently.
Exactly in the center. Exactly.
Well, and there was one point where they were at the I don't know, antique store, army surplus, I don't know, but Charge and Shadow, maybe another character, they were all standing in front of a Confederate flag that was hanging in.
Ooh, yeah.
I missed that.
Ooh.
Yeah, you know, in army surplus they sell all kinds of flags, but it was just this one,
Yeah.
intentional or not. Had just been thinking like, wow, I don't see any people that aren't white, and then
Yeah, huh.
flag we see in the movie other than what the villain's wearing.
I mean, you choose to point the camera in a direction, so
Yeah.
Right. And
know.
you had this brutal bad guy dressed as Uncle Sam
Oh.
or the Union.
Oh,
if you
no.
want. But
Oh,
I
no.
doubt he thought this much about it.
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
clearly didn't think that much about a lot of things.
Right.
I have a feeling he was like, okay, we've got the army surplus store for like 30 minutes. Go in, go, hurry, go.
I'm sure he was like, look, there is no subtext. Does everybody hear me? No subtext. What is happening?
All right. So then, he goes to Rickshaw's place, fights his army of furries.
Yep.
While Jill's dealing with some sort of like grenade shell game.
Well, and how terrible your peripheral and just even direct line of sight is in a giant costume character.
That's the most ineffective costume a guard could wear.
You have to turn your whole trunk to see what it is.
But it looks
Great.
awesome.
It does
I
look
guess.
awesome. Like it did in Umbrella Academy.
Yeah. All right. So so while Jill's dealing with the grenade game, John, whatever that is,
What round is this?
Jenga.
it's I don't know.
This is the final round?
Yeah.
The final
She
countdown?
walks in. She's like, "Fuck, it's Monopoly." God
It's
damn it.
This is gonna take forever.
championship round.
Yeah.
So
She's the only one left.
John finds and kills Rickshaw, but with his dying breath, Rickshaw starts a timer to blow up the whole town.
Seems empty. So
How did he kill Rickshaw? Did he shoot him?
Two
think
barrels,
John
two barrels to the chest.
Yeah.
Yeah, the
Yeah,
pirate
yeah,
shotgun, a little
yeah.
sawed off.
And
Right.
yeah. So and then he stands there as Rickshaw slowly takes out the thing and slowly presses the button
Right.
and then says, "What did you do?" He did something you easily could have stopped him from doing in the 30 seconds it took him to do it.
That's what he wants.
It's
Yeah, he
quite
did.
simple.
Maybe he's actually the bad guy.
I think he might be.
He shot those guys in the head. I mean,
Yeah.
clearly not a good.
So at this point, he gets on the TV broadcast and tells Jill the town's going to blow up and she should get out. She lets those hostages go, right? She frees them.
she
These are
unties.
the
Freed those
only
hostages.
hostages saved because everyone else that's in the town, three hostages get saved. These are
Out of
the
100.
yeah, and all the rest I assume are in the town somewhere and they're not running around trying to find
We
them.
don't see him.
No, but
I guess it's fish fry night down at the Presbyterian church. So
yeah, exactly.
nobody's around.
So there's three out of 100 they get. And they're kind of an afterthought even. She's like, I'm here. I may as well untie him.
When in Pine Mountain.
Yeah. So she goes to John's location to help him run, to help him escape with her. They've got like 2 minutes at this.
First, she has to run back to wherever it was that she shot him, where he left the map, to figure out the triangulation.
Right, which lucky he left it there. Lucky she knew he dropped it and didn't take it with him.
So he knows his way around the town enough to leave the map behind. The map is the clumsiest plot device in this movie.
So she has to run back there and then run to the location and find him and very slowly say, let's get you out of here or whatever.
Right. Well, and meantime, he's like, just go. Like, there's no time. Why is he just standing there? Like, even if I'd gotten shot, I'd be like, well, maybe if I can get out of this town, I can get to a doctor. Like, I still would have been, personally, I would have been, he just went and subdued guards and subdued the bad guy. I imagine he still has enough left in him to walk out of this place. Right. There's no reason to just sit there and let himself blow up.
I really wish that she would have carried him out in her arms.
And she's had heels on the whole time.
Yeah, those big ass, like gigantic cloppity clop heels.
Yeah, that you heard clopping every time she walked. Yeah. Well, and sometimes she'd like kind of like try to do a superhero strut, but I noticed like she'd do it, but also like with like her head hanging down. So it's like, I don't know.
She was a little slouchy.
She was kind of slouchy, yeah. So,
a little slouchy.
Yeah, and credits just roll as they start to leave. That's the movie.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's this movie.
Is it?
Or
there is a post-credits scene.
Oh, there is there?
There?
You didn't watch it?
You missed it?
No, I didn't.
I missed it too.
I didn't watch it.
Post-credit scene. Guys,
is Jigsaw still alive?
Rule number 1. Always watch to the end.
But I just didn't want to.
After credit scene, Cutthroat, laying on the floor with a knife sticking out of his chest, opens his eyes. And
that's it. Yeah.
The fuck does that even mean?
Maybe he had his powers all along. Maybe friendship was the power that they made along the way.
Maybe they need him for a sequel.
Cutthroat will return.
And J-Trusts. The Avengers. Yeah, so that's the movie.
That was it.
I don't have any unanswered questions. We got to everything during this.
I have an unanswered question. Cutthroat being a speedster, why does he wear a cape?
Yes.
Capes are for flyers.
Good question.
Always be flying.
Capes provide stability when you're flying.
Yeah.
They are useless if you're running.
That is, it's just going to slow you down, actually, if you're running.
It sounds cool, though. He just likes the sound of the cape.
And again, if he's fast, why is his name Cutthroat?
The most confusing will be Rickshaw. You know,
the least intimidating name ever.
Rickshaw.
I know it sounds like Jigsaw.
Rickshaw is clearly just like phonetically close to Jigsaw.
Yeah,
That's
exactly. Exactly.
It's so uninspired.
So very uninspired. Well, and I found it baffling that they never even mentioned the hero that was dead at the beginning of the movie.
Oh, right.
Never even mentioned him. I was expecting him to be in the flashbacks, but he never was. They never say who this was.
Or even Remar saying, like, I've already taken care of to show you that I'm serious.
Or I was expecting charge to be like, they got Blackjack or whatever.
Yeah, Brett Man.
They got Jughead. They got Weeb.
According to a bit of trivia I saw on IMDb, due to budget concerns, they were tearing pages out of the script.
Oh, and they killed that guy in real life.
Yeah. He was just already dead there. They were like, dress him up as a superhero. We use what we have. Yeah, I could see that. You got $20,000. You've got 3 days to shoot. You shoot what's absolutely necessary and skip what you don't have to.
Yeah, you shoot one of the actors.
Yeah, it's cheaper.
Repeat several lines over and over again.
Yep.
Paying Remar per word.
Repeat scenes over and over again.
You say
Remar didn't
say
get the
things like somehow Palpatine is back. Like you just get to the next thing.
I am Groot. But see, he didn't get the same deal Vin Diesel did.
Yeah.
They just had him say it once and just looped it over and over.
All right, so guys, anyone have any last thoughts before we can we can
Fuck
end this
movie.
madness?
My last thought.
Yeah, I'm sorry I had a thought about it.
Zero fun. I laughed 0 times. My eyes hurt from rolling into the back of my head.
I cared not for anyone.
I think I laughed one time, and that was the trampoline cage fight.
Okay, fair enough.
Trampoline cage fight.
Just how ridiculous that was.
Yeah.
Oh god.
They're on a trampoline. Okay.
The one thing I enjoyed more than anything was you guys talking about this movie after having watched it. How horror of a movie this was.
It was a
How
bad.
well you enjoyed it.
It was a bad movie. And here's the thing: it's like I can appreciate a super low budget film that was like, you know,
Yeah.
this could like it in the concept is pretty sound on this movie.
I appreciated it. The normal guy pretending to be super, persuading the actual powers to do something meaningful.
Yeah, I mean, there's little bits and
But that was all flashback.
yeah, there's little bits and pieces within this, but like again, like if you're gonna do this, like do it all the way. Like do a hard
at least
R.
be earnest and sincere in it. This guy didn't care about superhero movies. He
and if you're
just
gonna-
wanted that setup.
If you're going to use superheroes, give them powers.
Right.
Explain
It wasn't in the budget.
Well, I mean, okay, yeah, I get that.
Girl is invisible.
But explain.
You know, have a gaffer that makes the sound of shoes. If our fucking heels were loud enough, we could just be like, clop, 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 clop. Oh, clearly the invisible girl is walking by right now.
Right. Well, I mean, I can even
In her
appreciate.
Sunday shoes.
Yeah,
I
tie
can-
a knife to a string and dangle it in front of the camera.
I can
They had the one moment of her going invisible back when they were making out and he had to leave because his watch was going off. He like walks to the door and turns around and she's not there.
Really?
Yeah.
But that's in a flashback?
That was
Yeah.
in a flashback.
Yeah.
Okay.
When
Well,
she
I mean-
still had her powers.
I can even appreciate you're like, well, I don't have the money to give them their powers, so we'll like that's the conceit. Like their powers get taken away. Like that's all clever. It's just this the script was ridiculous, and it's
He
not.
chose a format that was tell and not show, but then he never even really told.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't need to even see them use their powers. There was no conversation about, a battle that they all kicked ass at or lost against Rickshaw, or
Yeah.
It doesn't even have to be a scene. It's not even a conversation.
I thought that he was in prison.
like the Fantastic Four, they knew who Dr. Doom was.
Yeah.
I think they thought he was dead.
They did at one point say, "I thought we
Yeah.
took care of Rickshaw."
It seems like it, yeah. Charge took care
Put him
of
in
him.
prison, killed
Yeah.
him, something.
Yeah.
Have
him
those
in rest home.
conversations.
But no, I mean it was a poorly written script. There were some
Actually,
sound.
the first time Rickshaw came on the camera, whatever he was saying is like, "It's good to see you all again." I for a second thought I was watching the sequel.
Right. That's a good thing. Yeah.
Rickshaw's character is in the prequel comic. So
Yeah. I would just quickly point out that when they released this into theaters, they renamed it from All Superheroes Must Die to Versus, VS period. Which seems
Actually,
like
that was.
Oh, I saw that.
I thought that was the original title.
No, that was when
that was the theatrical
that was
run.
the theatrical run. They named it Versus, and then for streaming changed it back
Right.
to All Superheroes
People
Must
were
Die.
dying.
I imagine because they were like, well, this is terrible and very confusing. You can't Google it. Like, yeah.
Like
You,
the movie.
you just end up getting epic rap battles of history.
Yeah, exactly.
Adolf Hitler versus Darth Vader.
So, all right.
Oh,
History just comes alive.
We haven't mentioned the music. This was my least favorite part of the entire movie. The music throughout this movie. Somehow it gets worse. The music was just
They used royalty-free like classical music through a big chunk of it.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was bad.
Yeah.
It was bad score. It was bad. It's
Yeah.
a bad movie. So, all right. Are you guys ready to rank it so we can be done?
It felt like a demo reel.
It did.
Yeah.
It felt like a college film.
Sure, let's bring it down. That's what I mean. Yeah, a demo reel, just to show that he could do these scene setups.
Yeah.
Cannibal the Musical was.
I think that,
Absolutely.
That was a,
Oh, yeah.
that was a college film.
Yeah.
yeah, exactly. That's what that was. A college film demo reel.
So,
Ranking.
all right. So here's the bottom of our list. I don't think there's any doubt it's going to be somewhere near the bottom. The question is, how far? How far does it go?
I think I mentioned in our text, I actually remember laughing more times during Super Capers, that sneaky one that turned out to be sort of a Christian message.
Yeah.
But I remember laughing at it a few times.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The goofy main character.
Power of
They
Prayer.
did superhero tropes better.
Yeah. I
The
mean,
time
that's
traveling RV. Like I remember moments of that movie. This movie, I'm just gonna remember James Remar.
yeah. Yeah. I
And how
mean,
frustrating.
I was kind of
I mean,
torn
it
as
could be the worst.
I was torn as to whether it went above or below Super Capers. That was the only question I had in my mind, and I keep going back and forth.
I
that's a
did
tough
not
call.
enjoy this whatsoever. Like there was no moment of me smirking or smiling or thinking something was clever.
Yeah. Nothing seemed serious and nothing seemed ironic at the same time.
Like the judge
Super
was
Capers.
funny in Super Capers.
Oh God, I forgot about that. Oh,
That end scene with the throne room scene.
oh God, Super Caper. Oh God, and
There
the
were
stuff.
villains.
Yeah, okay. Al, what do you think?
Let's put it at 100, Thoreau.
All right,
Let's do it.
let's do
Our
it.
Hundo episode.
Our 100th episode is our 100th movie. All
I love it.
superheroes
That's-
must die.
Does that make it a hundo or a nundo?
Ooh.
Sorry, some Pokemon slang
Or
there.
J-Tro.
So there it goes. The worst movie we've yet done.
Least best.
Least best.
Hard to beat.
And as I said, guys, next week we are going to be doing our 100th episode spectacular extravaganza. We're going to have a look back. We're going to play around with the rankings. We're going to have a few different lists and discussions about a few different topics for you. So
Some games.
yeah, some games. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Just to get people psyched up for the episode after that, it's Iron Man 3, right?
Yeah, 2 weeks from now it'll be Iron Man 3. But yeah,
If I had not pointed out this movie,
Iron
my
Man.
humblest apologies, sirs. But
I don't know, but now
but
it wouldn't
actually,
have been
I'm not.
100.
I'm not sorry.
Yeah, 100 wouldn't have been 100.
No. Right, so I kind of appreciate that that matches up.
It was kismet. It's meant to be.
Yeah.
Oh, It
Yeah.
was. Exactly.
I'm glad this popped up because it was so terrible.
It was truly.
It's a landmark.
It was a landmark of how bad a movie can be.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's it. We will see everybody next week. Our 100th movie special. Join us. It's going to be a lot of fun. And, thanks for hanging out with us on Harmless Phosphorescence. This has been your host, Throw Smiley. I'm going to go and get my ass kicked now.
I'm Josh Cece, and we're not all the way up shit creek.
I'm Brian Lesh, and if I have to watch the sequel to this movie, I will stab myself in the heart.
I'm Alaric Weber, and I am rigged to various life-threatening devices.
Yes.
Sexy beast.
Mainly cats.
Cat.
Bye, everybody. We'll see you next
All right.
time.